I would offer we have the same opportunity for all of our fans and soccer supporters today, because I believe it would be smart to believe in soccer and to believe in Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati, starting today.
(1,096 days since Jeff Birding, Carl Lindner III, and Jake Edwards announced FC Cincinnati as an expansion franchise in the USL. Tonight we celebrate 3 years and a very exciting future. Good evening and welcome on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, where tonight FC Cincinnati welcomes Penn FC. Tom Glitter thrilled to be alongside my broadcast partner and All-American Kevin McCloskey as we get set to celebrate 3 years of orange and blue soccer. But before we get too much into that event, some breaking news. 2 defensive changes for Alan Koch tonight. Goalkeeper Evan Newton is out with a hip injury, and then defender Declan Canon not available with a knee injury. The good news, capable backups will step in.
I think Declan Canon and obviously Evan Newton being out of the lineup, definitely a big blow, Tommy. You've got to think about what they've contributed so far to the back line. But as you said, Spencer Ritchie, very capable. Paddy Barrett stepping in there as well. 2 players that have played and contributed throughout the season, and hopefully gain the difference in that sturdy defense.
The microscope will certainly be on FC Cincinnati defensively at the other end. Manu Ledesma has not scored in the past 3 matches. Kind of hard to believe, and you see him as a key member of the matchup today going up against Ken Tribbett.
Well, it has been a little bit of a drought for his standards. You know, certainly I think Ledesma's got to be that player that provides end product for FC Cincinnati. So hopefully we can see that tonight. Ken Tribbett, the captain, the leader for Penn FC. It's going to be an important part playing as a centre back, but I think he's got to have his eye on Emmanuel Ledesma and try to keep him at bay.
Well, the 4 previous meetings between these 2 teams, 2 wins for FC Cincinnati here in the Queen City, 2 draws in Pennsylvania. Tonight, the 5th matchup between these clubs will give you the starters and get things rolling. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. We're just about set for the first of 2 meetings this season between Penn FC and FC Cincinnati. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey back with you as both clubs have taken the pitch, and it's time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places for Alan Koch, Danny Kunig up top, a 4-3-3, just the 2nd time this season. The orange and blue will start in that formation, and we told you Spencer Ritchie steps in, makes his 6th start of the year, goalkeeper, and Paddy Barrett into the starting lineup as center back with Declan Canon out. The 3rd member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. She's ready for the whiteout, and she's ready for a 3-year celebration. Lindsay, good evening.
Good evening, guys. I talked to Alan Koch about the birth date of FC Cincinnati. He's been with the club for almost 2 years. Not surprised with the growth in the last 3. He said some people like to use the word movement, and movement does come to mind. What is happening with this city and club is simply incredible, and nobody takes it for granted. And guys, you can't have a birthday without cake. Happy birthday, FC Cincinnati.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. You know, my broadcast partner here, Kev's already had, 3 slices tonight so far, mate. Today's injury report is brought to you by Levy Law, where they turn your crash into cash. For FC Cincinnati, as we mentioned, a bit longer than expected. Richie Ryan has the calf injury. He remains out. Deco Kanan with the knee injury, very minor knee injury. Just to make note of that, Evan Newton, the hip injury, is involved in the 18 and available if needed tonight. Jimmy McLaughlin picked up a knock last week against Nashville. He is involved in the 18 and available for Alan Koch. Tonight's match official is Mark Allerton and brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation, second time this season. Allerton has been the man in the middle. Both sides have taken to the pitch. As I mentioned, it is a whiteout. So FC Cincinnati wearing their secondary kits tonight with orange on the shoulders, white tops, white shorts, and white socks. You see Spencer Ritchie make his way back in the red goalkeeper kit. And then Penn FC will be in their all-blue kits today with the white sleeves and white numerals on the back. Danny Koenig will stand over the ball at midfield. Now the team's leading scorer following his goal in the first minute last Saturday against Nashville. It was a frustrating 89 minutes after that, but the orange and blue jumped out quickly. Can they do the same here tonight? Mike LaHood will get it going. The 5th meeting between Cincinnati and Penn FC underway here in the Queen City.
You talked about the Nashville game being a little bit frustrating. Danny Koenig and the rest of the guys trained really hard this week in preparation of shrugging that game, that performance, put it behind them. They want nothing more than a better performance tonight against this Penn FC team. A team that's been really inconsistent. You talk about their lineup and many times they've changed their starting 11, Tommy. I talked to Alan during the week too. Hard to kind of prepare for that.
Well, the orange and blue remain atop the East with 45 points, a plus 19 goal differential, was his second best in the USL. Penn FC at the other end, 13th in the East. Saw some of the smoke sitting over the Bailey as this Sunday night special edition of USL Soccer gets rolling. A 6 p.m. start. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I know it was a little odd for you and I not to be together on a Saturday, but we're back at it.
Enjoying Sunday night football, right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way. Ramu Peiser, the French goalkeeper, 38 years of age, will put it back into play with his right boot. Out across midfield, Blake Smith heads it down. Smith looking to get another touch. Corbin Bone unable to clear it away. Dan Metzger keeps it alive for Penn. Menjivar back into the middle. Metzger and over to the far side of the pitch. Penn FC arrives 6, 7, and 8, as I mentioned, 13th in the East with 26 points, and they're at a -2 goal differential on the season. Koenig trying to work it into the middle. Foul is called as there was contact on his foot with this 6 p.m. start. You'll see that shadow creep its way across the pitch to the far east side of Nippert Stadium as the match rolls along. And by the end of the first half, the entire pitch should be in the shade. Menjivar, the native of California, picked it up, worked it into the middle, and then Ledesma won it back, and the foul is called. FC Cincinnati will get a free kick just across midfield.
Ledesma does well. Really an overhit spin touch. Ends up continuing to work from it. You see this ball coming across. Keeps fighting. Touch. He gets clipped for the free kick. Referee does a good job. Allows to see if there is advantage played. No advantage plays, come back for a free kick.
Gives FC Cincinnati an early chance here with Ledesma to set it up. Barton, Lasso, the center backs will push forward just at the edge of the 18.
You talked about the sun. Just looking where the goalkeeper is. He's right on the edge there, Tommy, if you can see between the shadow and the sun line. Ledesma, I'm looking to try to play really hit on top of that line in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. Very tough for a goalkeeper to deal with.
Yeah, I would definitely say Peiser will have to deal with the sun more so than will Spencer Ritchie here in the first half. Ledesma sends it. It's headed by one of the Penn FC defenders in a dangerous position. He cleared it, but out along the end line. It'll set up the first corner kick of the night. But a little bit of chaos there inside of the 6.
I'll say it again, Tommy, and I just talked about that area that he's trying to play into. Perfect. Great weight as well. Defender does well just to get across.
And that was Tribbett.
Kenny Tribbett, who we talked about in our preview. It's interesting seeing Corbin Bone coming short here, bringing 2 Penn FC players.
First corner kick of the night is brought to you by the Levy Law Offices, where they'll turn your crash into cash. Ledesma with his left foot. Serves it far post. Sails over the head of Pizer and then is pushed to the far touchline by Prince Buffo, the native of Ghana. FC Cincinnati will regain control there with a throw-in. Russell Cicerone getting the start today, battling Jimmy McLaughlin for an opportunity to start in the 4-3-3 this week. And then McLaughlin, after taking that knock against Nashville, just couldn't get ready to start. Cicerone worked his way into the lineup.
I think that was the case, really. Jimmy was fighting to get fit. Certainly back into the 18 tonight, so I think he's close. We might see him feature tonight. Just didn't do enough, really, to win that starting position. Gives Russell another chance, another young player that we've seen good flashes of, Tommy, throughout the season.
For Russ, that's his 4th start of the season. 7th appearance for the Bloomfield Hills, Michigan native. Pizer, who won the 2015 NASL Golden Glove. Out into the midfield, Ledesma will be called for a foul, battling for the header. Free kick coming for Penn. Mentioned Mark Alton, the match official. Second time FC Cincinnati has seen him this season. He officiated the match on June 9th at North Carolina FC. Administered 3 yellow cards in that game. All 3 were on FC Cincinnati.
Good pressure by Russell Cicerone. Just talked about him. Forces a dispossession. Danny Koenig just unable to hold that ball up, playing back to goal.
Hood wins it back with a header. Now Ledesma, 2 defenders on, loses it. Penn FC will work in transition left to right. Onto the right side to the boot of Isaac Osei. Now dropped back onto Menjivar.
Just noticing FC Cincinnati different shape than we've seen these last 2 home games. Looks like they're playing in a 4-3-3.
The one other game they played, the 4-3-3 this season, at least came out and started in that formation, was the win 2-1 against New York Red Bulls 2 back in July. Corbin Bone doesn't win it. It ends up on the foot of Ledesma, who is shoved over. Foul will be called and a free kick for FC Cincinnati as they look to clear the defensive third.
Just as we talk about the shape, Danny Koenig's going to have a big job to play. Really, that central target, that lone target, he's going to have to be the player that can bring it down, bring other players in. Corbin Bone, Nazmi Al-Badawi underneath him, Ledesma to his right, and obviously playing back to goal, Russell Cicerone to his left. So he's going to have a very important job of being that target player.
Cicerone heads it into the middle, where it's won back by Tribbett. And then Tribbett out across midfield. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank as it bounds out far touchline for the orange and blue throw-in. What are your keys tonight for Alan Koch and FC Cincinnati?
We talked about, going back to the Nashville game, the frustration, scoring early. I think, the other 89 minutes that we saw, there wasn't really a rhythm that was established. Tommy, possession is very key, as you know, obviously, to create opportunities. I think there were some fouls, some disruptions that kind of impacted that. So that's one thing they've got to get back into. The second thing, they've got to improve discipline. We see this as well when we talk about interruptions. Don't create interruptions for yourself, right? You've got to be mentally stronger than that. You've got to be a lot more focused. And I think if you can really control those things, then you're in possession, you're in control of the game.
Lasso forward, his feet is short in the direction of Bone. We're on to the 8th minute, scoreless here at Nippert Stadium. Feels like neither team has found a rhythm thus far. Walter Ramirez onto the end line. Had Nazmi Al-Badawi trailing. Advantage is played. Ball across the middle, headed down by Kusana. Kusana couldn't get a good look on it, and I'll tell you what, they might be fortunate. There is FC Cincinnati. It looks like Nazmi Al-Badawi is pleading that he got popped in the face after it looked like he committed the foul.
I think you can see blood
he's
there.
Bleeding. He's going to have to come over and be attended to by Aaron Powell.
He got an elbow in his the side of his jaw or his lip.
Let's take a look at the original play.
He's closing him down here. Yeah, there's the elbow right there. It's good contact as well.
So Nazmi held on to him, and I missed it initially after Ramirez popped him with an elbow, and you can see drew blood. So Nazmi's going to have to be out for a moment until he can be attended to, and now he's just going to sit down to allow Aaron Powell to come on to the pitch and help him out.
He definitely felt that one, Tommy.
Yeah. Alan Koch will look on from the bench. And Mark Allerton is asking Aaron Powell to move his emergency patch show over to the touchline. So that'll be the case. For a moment, FC Cincinnati is going to have to play a man down. See, Dr. Brian Growie, one of the surgeons for FC Cincinnati, is over there as well to assess his wound. Meanwhile, it'll be a free kick for Spencer Ritchie. So on first glance, I thought that it was Al-Badawi who committed the foul. I didn't see that he had received an elbow to the face before he wrapped his arms around Walter Ramirez. We resume play with the goal kick out into the midfield.
I've talked about this earlier, about Penn FC and what they expect. I mean, it's going to be difficult, I think. They're going to play in a 4-4-2, but you know how many times this lineup's changed? It's actually crazy this season. We talk about them being 13th in the league as well. I think a reflection of that is not having the same lineup for more than two consecutive games. They have some talent. A guy like Metzger stands out.
Well, they're a club that's been out of form lately.
M. Cassano's another, lucky M. Cassano. He's another important player. But certainly, like you said, yeah, they've been out of form. You would expect on paper, though, we've talked about this, FC Cincinnati, stronger team. Certainly deeper with personnel.
Blake Smith on the throw into Corbin Bone. Tried to sneak it past to Danny Koenig, and his touch slid out along the end line. Al-Badawi continues to get medical attention right at midfield. See Alan Koch now go over to chat with Dr. Growie, probably trying to figure out if he needs to have Jimmy McLaughlin warming up in earnest, or if Al-Badawi is going to be able to return. And
I think right now they're actually doing a concussion test. I can see the doctor with the light just shining in his eyes, just making sure he's okay.
Probably trying to stop the bleeding as well. Franco, in the meantime, for Penn FC, playing a man up onto the attacking third towards the corner. Ledesma dropping back defensively, slowed the run. Franco gets it back into the 18. Franco with his left foot. Bone gets the block. Menjivar picks it back up for Penn FC. Those last 4 matches for the visitors, just a draw amongst the 4 results. The other 3 losses. Ball bouncing on to Danny Koenig, and it'll get to Pizer first. Penn FC has gone now over 200 minutes without leading a match. They've led for only 16 minutes of the last 360 minutes coming into this game.
Certainly a team and a club in transition. A lot of new faces this year, even with the coaching staff as well, Tommy. So, like I said, very unpredictable. Some talent that will definitely cause concern here.
Deflection to Buffo. Bart was able to come over and stop him before he could get a shot off on Spencer Ritchie, and then Potty wisely touches it out on the touchline right near the flag. So a throw in for Penn FC inside of the final third.
I think it's going to be very important too. FC Cincinnati, these next 10 minutes, I think they've got to be a little bit more direct. I think they've got to play in behind. I know I talked about getting into a rhythm, but they've got to flip the switch here a little bit. Penn FC have really started the game. They've got momentum. I think FC Cincinnati need to turn and put the opponent under pressure. Get them a chance to breathe and recollect.
Now Penn's going to have their first corner kick of the match. It's brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Ramirez comes over to take it. Nazmi Al-Badawi has returned to the match, and we'll get more about him from Lindsay momentarily. Ramirez swings it with his left foot to the far post, comes off the noggin of Paddy Barrett and out on the end line.
Very dangerous ball in by Ramirez too. Just in between Paddy Barrett and Spencer Ritchie. FC Cincinnati look a little shell-shocked, I think, just to start this game.
Richard Menjivar will head over to take this corner in the 14th minute. Scoreless early here in a Sunday night matchup of Cincinnati and Penn. Penn now showing much of the same form that Cincinnati does on their corner kicks, stacking them up right around the penalty spot. Menjivar on the service. Barrett heads it away, and Ledesma will clear it out into the midfield. For more on Nazmi Al-Badawi, Lindsay, what do you have?
Yeah, he's dealing with a couple injuries out there. It took him a while to stop. The bleeding upper lip is busted, and he has a broken tooth.
You know, I thought that might be the case because it looked like he had something in his hand as he was running over. So his tooth chipped on the elbow from Walter Ramirez, and I wouldn't be shocked to see the USL take a long look at that replay. They've suspended folks for less.
I think, yeah, 100%. I think the contact, it was strong for sure. I don't think there was a lot of malice in it. I didn't say Ramirez kind of jacked back. He just solid contact and hit him. You could tell as soon as he hit him, Nazmi went straight down to his knees.
My thought was just that it was unnecessary in the moment to, I guess generally it's unnecessary to put an elbow into somebody's mouth, but
unless you're in the booth with you, right?
Extreme conditions. It's happened once or twice in our 3 years together, partner. Spencer Ritchie holds it on his foot. Now we'll play it short to Lahoud. Forward to Nazmi, on to Barrett, and back to Ritchie. Few opportunities each way, but a bit of a sluggish 15 minutes to start this first of two meetings between these clubs this season. It's funny, last week the stadium exploded with the early goal against Nashville. I'll finish that thought in a moment as Koenig to the final third. Koenig gets into the 18, looking to cross it. Nobody home, cleared away. It'll bound out to Lahoud, who keeps it alive. Smith now trying to play it into the middle, and here comes Penn in transition. Lucky Kosana has it deflected away by Smith. Smith brings it into the middle with some room. Blake onto the right side. Cicerone receives the pass. Corner of the 18, knocked off of Russ's foot, and it'll be a throw. And Alan said it on the broadcast, but he said that early goal often is a blessing and probably more often is a curse, and it certainly proved to be a curse last week.
It was a curse, no, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things, though, you've got to continue to put your foot on the gas and continue to go forward with it. These last two plays, though, Tommy, best FC Cincinnati have looked tonight.
Cicerone got it into the middle, didn't quite find Danny Koenig. Venner cleared it away. Then Barrett won it back for the orange and blue.
I sense that FC Cincinnati are starting to grow in confidence, starting to control the game. This is the guy you want on the ball.
Knocked off of Ledesma's foot, but goes out on the end line, and another chance at a corner kick for FC Cincinnati. 4 previous meetings between these clubs, FC Cincinnati has won the 2 matches here, has never given up a goal to this franchise here. If you're wondering, Penn FC, not an expansion team, but rebranded from Harrisburg City Islanders of last season. Again, FC Cincinnati stacked right about the penalty spot as Ledesma waits to take it upon the ready signal from the match official. Ledesma leads the USL with 10 assists. Looking to the far post. Forrest Lasso got his head on it, and Corbin Bone takes the shot, deflected away, and well defended by Penn. Ramirez brings it into the midfield for the visitors. Ledesma and Bone there to provide pressure and won it back. Then Ledesma forward to Koenig. Flag stays down. Peiser comes all the way to the edge of the 18 to punch it away. Koenig's going to be called for a foul, and actually the flag went up late.
Well, very late flag as well. Right. I think if the referee had have blew his whistle, maybe he could have avoided that collision.
As soon as the pass was made, I looked over because I thought that Danny might be off.
And it's obvious that he's going for that.
And he was.
I think if he blows his whistle there, it's...
The offside call is correct. But you're right. The collision doesn't happen if the flag goes up faster.
I think the flag went up. I think the referee just maybe didn't see his linesman. Regardless, game's back on. Like I said, the last 5 minutes, FC Cincinnati are definitely growing in confidence. Working hard both sides of the ball to get it back.
Metzger knocks it into the middle, comes off of Kosana. LaHood is there defensively for the home lads.
Just going to keep the ball moving. We talked about rhythm. Going to be interesting. You seeing Penn FC playing in a 4-4-2. Two central players against FC Cincinnati's three. Certainly a number advantage in the middle. If they can find Nazmi or Corbin Bone turned, I think that's going to be a big advantage for FC Cincinnati.
Barred back onto the foot of Spencer Ritchie, the Seattle, Washington native, 26 years of age, making his 6th start of the season. If you're just joining us, Evan Newton picked up a bit of a hip injury during the week of training, unable to start. He is involved in the 18 tonight. Ritchie, who won that match against New York Red Bulls 2 at the end of July, that I talked about when the team was in a 4-3-3. Certainly capable stepping in for Newton. Cicerone with a nice run, drops it to the foot of Bone. Bone into the 18. Koenig held up just a hair, and it skipped past him. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Frisch's.
It's interesting to see FC Cincinnati pressing tonight. They feel like they're a little bit more athletic than Penn FC. They're not going to give them a chance to build out of the back, and so far it's worked. You know, they've won possession higher up the field.
Misplay on the far touch, comes off the foot of Jake Bond, the 26-year-old defender. It'll be a throw in for Justin Hoyt, far touchline. All the way into the middle, and Forrest Lasso. Lasso knocks it forward in the direction of Al-Badawi. Nazmi battling and put just a bit of his shoulder into the ball as he was trying to win it.
It's interesting. He's looked very aggressive, actually, coming back on after that injury. It's a couple of times now Nazmi's running through, which is great to see.
Nazmi's going to get a conversation here after that foul when he took out Tribbett.
You'd be a little upset too, Tom, if you lost a tooth.
Yeah. He popped it into the wall on the near touchline. And I believe that his lip is bleeding again because he's been called over to the touchline where Aaron Powell's going to run over and try to clean up his wound again. So for the second time, Nazmi Al-Badawi's come off the pitch here in the first 21 minutes. Teddy Kerr is standing there right by him as well, holding a second jersey in the event that he got blood on the white kit tonight. Bone with a nice back heel to Ledesma, man who thought he'd be coming up the touchline, and Corbin had him made the run.
It's interesting to see if Penn FC recognize this player's down, if they try to change their tempo a little bit, take advantage of the number up situation.
Well, I think you just heard Bill Becker on our crowd mics urge his guys to pick up the pace.
100%. It's one of those things. You've got to be able to recognize it and see it.
Penn FC on to the final third. Over to the right side. Franco got it into the middle. The shot goes over Spencer Ritchie, but a great look for Isaac Osei, who has 2 goals on the season and didn't get a good look, but boy, did he have a great spot to take it from.
That's the best chance of the night right there. Has a ton of space, turns. You say Jose doesn't hit the target, but good first touch, takes a second touch here, just unable to wrap his steps around it. I think Forrest and Spencer Ritchie probably had the front post covered.
Right at the corner of the 6-yard box.
Just a little bit too much space for me though, Tommy. How he can take it down without any pressure from behind. It's just a little bit easy.
Kosana over to the far touchline. Pushing forward onto the foot of Ramirez.
Good tackle by Justin Hoyt.
Ramirez will battle there. Russell Cicerone back there with Justin Hoyt. Brings it forward.
What a ball by Paddy Barrett.
To the foot of Ledesma. Ledesma with 2 defenders on, trying to keep it alive. Manu into the 18. Manu doing just about everything. He's taken down inside of the 18. He's not going to get the penalty.
Not the penalty, but it's a back pass. We'll watch the replay again. I don't think it was a penalty, but it's definitely an intentional back pass.
At the other end, Forrest Lasso on the header back out into the midfield. We'll take a look at that play at our next opportunity. Franco pushes forward for Penn. Into the final third. Ball comes off the face of Blake Smith. Here's the play.
Ledesma does really well. Just initially flicks it over. I think there's a little bit of contact here. He pulls it maybe. No. Touches again. Turns. It's not a penalty. It's a good tackle. That's the back pass right there where the keeper comes and collects it.
Which would set
the
up a free
missed
kick
that.
at that point,
at that
if
point.
It's called, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ball bounces off the head of Tribbett, then controlled by Penn FC. 25th minute, scoreless at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, happy to be with you on the 3rd anniversary of FC Cincinnati. It was 3 years ago today. That just across the stadium at the Richard E. Lindner Center. Carl Lindner III, Jeff Birding, and Jake Edwards announced this club as a USL expansion franchise. And boy, what a way this club has come in the 1,096 days since.
Fantastic moments here at Nippert Stadium. And there's so many chapters,
soccer.
you know.
Absolutely.
And again, just to celebrate this, wasn't too long ago. Obviously, the MLS announcement as well. But so many great memories, historic moments, and
many more to come.
Many more to come. Hopefully with the championship at the end of the season.
Would be a special way to leave the USL. Of course, FC Cincinnati atop the East right now. If the playoffs started today, would be the 1 seed and have the 2nd best record in the league going into the playoffs. Foul is called on FC Cincinnati in the midfield. Penn will hurry to get it back into play and send it on the right side. Franco set up a few chances today, sends it in. Lasso turns it away, right back to Franco, however. Menjivar rips a shot that goes about 5 yards to the right. Spencer Ritchie.
Menjivar again at space. He's probably dry enough. 35 yards, a little bit speculative, but you know, it's one of those things. So you look in this 4-4-2, Tommy, there's a lot of movement within this system for Penn FC. Players coming from wide positions in centrally. It's been a little bit difficult for the midfield 3, Corbin Bone, Michael Lahoud, and Nazmi, just to kind of understand that and deal with it. Got Osai and Kasana up top as well. And again, the movement from those 2 players has been pretty difficult really to deal with.
Throw in for Penn FC, far touchline. As we were talking about the 3rd anniversary of this club, you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned at halftime. A special feature, part 1 of a chat with the 3 OGs, Jimmy McLaughlin, Kenny Walker, and Corbin Bone. The 3 have been spectacular for the last 3 years. We sat them down to have a conversation and reflect, and it was so good it turned into 2 features. So you get part 1 this week and part 2 in a couple weeks.
Bonus series, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. There may be bonus footage on the internet eventually as well, because I'll tell you what, I don't know if we can squeeze it all into 2 features. 236 appearances, 207 starts, and now over 18,000 minutes for those 3 combined in orange and blue. Ledesma dancing near touchline, and he'll be called for the foul, much to the chagrin of the fans here in the Queen City. Here's a look at the foul, and just gets his leg onto the back of Marco Franco, the Chino Hills, California native. Penn will push everybody forward and then set to put it back into play. Venter to the top of the 18, headed down by Barrett. Penn keeps it alive. Metzger. Lasso on the header to Al-Badawi. Lahoud challenged from behind. Kosana not able to win it back. And Blake Smith trying to bring it up the left side. Ledesma does well to keep it alive.
Did really well. Just to find Danny Koenig. We talked about that target. He's in the space.
Koenig just missed Russell Cicerone out wide. Now transition the other way for Penn. Kosana. Over to the right side, Buffo. Buffo centering it. Bounces to the foot of Osei. Smith sneaks in from behind to take it away, but then Franco wins it right back. Penn will keep the pressure on. Buffo. Smith gets in the way. Buffo will let it bound out. Blake Smith. 11 consecutive USL starts for FC Cincinnati. That means he has started every match of this 11-game unbeaten streak for the Orange and Blue, the only player with that honor. Tonight, his 12th consecutive start for Alan Koch. 20th on the season.
He's been a massive pickup. Sturdy player, defender, great defender, obviously, but we've seen him as well providing a lot of service in attack. He's got a great engine getting up and down that left-hand side.
Ball comes off of FC Cincinnati along the end line. Penn FC will have a chance at a corner kick as we approach the half-hour mark here at Nippert. Ramirez stands over it. Menjivar is there if he wants to play it short. Ramirez will cross it. Al-Badawi got in the way, and Bone sends it out in the midfield where the preventative coverage for Penn FC will pick it back up.
Just looking at Penn FC's shape here. If FC Cincinnati can establish possession.
Kosana got it off to Menjivar. Then the shot not taken by Osei. Bit of a miscommunication there. And Blake Smith will slide in to send it out to midfield. Koenig battling with Bond. Bond able to hold him off. Danny working really hard to get to it.
That's another back pass.
Yeah. And that's what Danny is arguing with the linesman on the far side. And you can see FC Cincinnati's bench is up in arms as well.
That's even more clear than the first one.
Well, Mark Allison not interested in calling it tonight, apparently.
You can't. Okay. Interesting, very interesting.
Kosana. Franco. Ledesma brings on some pressure and wins it back. Ledesma started all but one match of this 11-match unbeaten streak for the Orange and Blue, the one that he had to sit out with yellow card accumulation suspension. Lahoud is foul. Here's a look at that run by Danny Koenig and what you thought was another back pass.
Well, it's Jake Bonds coming back here. Anytime that you're being pressured and you play back, is he putting it right for a corner kick?
Oh. Hard to believe, right? A foul right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench as Blake Smith is taken down. And Ledesma will take the free kick just a step off the touchline. He plays it back to Paddy Barrett. Barrett will have a little bit of room right at midfield. Slides it over to the right to Russell Cicerone, who's been mostly quiet so far here in the first half.
The majority of possession really has been on this left-hand side for FC Cincinnati. Ledesma's been pretty involved. I think for Ledesma, when you put him in these wide areas, Tommy, he's not as effective, I think. The type of player you want to try to get him underneath Danny Koenig if you can with those inside runs. It's not the type of player you want to try to isolate 1v1 outside.
Lasso off to the chest of Ledesma. Drops it for Nazmi. On to Lahoud, and they'll switch to the right. Here comes Hoyt. Over to Cicerone. Cicerone will bring it into the middle. Drops it off for Nazmi. Nazmi trying to keep it alive. Franco clears it away. Then we'll look for numbers the other way. Osei is right there with Bard, and he gets the pass. One-on-one on the right side of the 18. Osei tried to give it back into the middle to Kosana. And the Orange and Blue are able to clear it first. Throw-in will come right in front of Penn FC's bench. Pretty spectacular Sunday night here at Nippert Stadium. First of two times that FC Cincinnati will play on a Sunday here towards the back half of the home schedule. Kyle Venter into the middle, Ken Tribbett. Tribbett, the captain, pushes it over to the far touchline. Back into the middle to Buffo. Taken away by Al-Badawi, but FC Cincinnati sloppy with it. Metzger to the final third. Penn with a chance into the 18. Ramirez takes a shot that Spencer Ritchie has no problem pulling onto his arms.
I totally agree with you, Tommy. You talk about sloppy. Really, FC Cincinnati, I think, have provided Penn with more opportunities just by their mistakes. And Penn have been unbelievable in trying to create. It's taken advantage, really, of the mistakes that FC Cincinnati have made.
When Penn's a team that's dangerous in transition.
Yeah.
They've scored on those opportunities this year. Barred over to the right side, Cicerone. Cicerone will send it into the middle. Corbin Bone giving chase. Picer comes up. This time I don't think he needed a back pass. Just went down to the ground and was able to pull it on.
I think when FC Cincinnati have been able to kind of slow down into the attack in third and allow numbers to get forward, they've created better chances, get more players in the box. Anytime they've been rushed or hurried, it's just been sloppy, as you said.
Bard stepped forward but was unable to win it. Now Penn will switch over to the right, and Blake Smith does well to get there first and send it out and then let his teammates settle in defensively.
Blake Smith again, just such a reliable player in that left back position.
And actually he was able to get the deflection, so it's a throw-in for the orange and blue. See Michael Lahoud touch it back. A lot of options in the midfield for Alan Koch. Fatai Alashe, now with the club for his second match, is available in the 18 tonight after joining FC Cincinnati on loan from San Jose for the remainder of the season, and then will be part of the Major League Soccer roster next season. Justin Hoyt trying to work it up the right side. Cicerone does not connect. And Hoyt will slow Ramirez, who was trying to get it out in the midfield. Of course, Fernando Adi, who made his debut, available in the 18 again after heading to Portland, packing up his stuff and moving it all to Cincinnati this week. Bit of an adventure to get wife and young child, as well as put his house on the market, pack everything up, and get out here to the Queen City.
It's a lot to do in a week.
Absolutely. So he missed a few days of training. Fatai did the same, going back to San Jose to get all of his stuff.
Yeah.
With Fatai coming into the 18, Tyler Gibson not involved tonight after making his USL debut last Saturday.
I would expect the positives with that. They're back now. You know, the remainder of the season, I think that will be the squad that Alan will have to work with. I don't see any other players come in. Obviously, Pakanote is waiting for his visa to come in, but other than that, really, I think that's a positive thing. Now you can provide a little bit more consistency.
And just to expound on Pa's situation, waiting for his work visa, he has to go to Canada to pick it up. So I was told he actually flew there today. Will get his visa tomorrow or Tuesday and then rejoin the club for training. Corbin Bone lets it go on. Manu Ledesma's there, but has to catch up with it right at the end line. Does so. Tries to play it to himself inside of the 18. It was won by Buffo, and then Ledesma, a bit aggressive, commits the foul. And will trot up into the midfield.
It's a great dummy by Corbin Bone just to open up the space for Ledesma.
Ledesma held up just long enough that it took him a bit longer to catch up with it. Smith and Lasso working on the near touchline. Nearly a dangerous ball over to Spencer Ritchie, who read it well, sent it out on the touchline, but had pressure coming from Kosana.
I think if you're Bill Betcher going in, Penn's head coach, if you're going into halftime, I think you've got to be pretty pleased with how they've disrupted things for FC Cincinnati. Obviously, a team on the road, going to try to make it difficult for the home team.
Absolutely. Well, Penn FC's been very much a second-half club this season. They've scored 25 goals. 20 of those strikes have come after halftime. Koenig trying to track it down. Tribbett got there first. Forward to the foot of Ramirez, and a bit of contact on the far side with Koenig and Tribbett over there. Will result in a Penn FC free kick. Last time these two teams met was in Harrisburg at FNB Field, September 12th of 2017. That was a 1-1 draw. It's been a draw both times this game has been played in Pennsylvania. Pizer will take the free kick. Send it into the attacking third at the other end. Bone and LaHood, the former Wake Forest teammates, win it back for FC Cincinnati. Then right back to the visitors. Menjivar drops it back for Venner. Venner with his right foot will hold it right at midfield.
What we've not seen as well, you talked about it in attack, you know, the front three, Danny Koenig, Russell Cicerone and Ledesma. We've not really seen a ton of overlaps from Justin Hoyt or Blake Smith. Not a lot of support from the fullbacks tonight.
I was thinking that a few moments ago. Haven't been many opportunities to get them involved.
And really the key in a 4-3-3 as well, you have to provide that extra layer from that fullback getting up into support. Those overlapping runs, and really it's not been existent at all tonight. The back four, I think, for FC Cincinnati have kind of been pinned back almost. You look at Buffo and Ramirez, right and left hand side. They've stayed high, along with the Osaya and Kasana. It's really 4 against 4, kind of preventing FC Cincinnati from breaking forward and creating numbers up.
Osmi over to the right. Hoyt has a lot of room up the middle. Russell Cicerone didn't see him. Body Bard will switch it over to the left. Ledesma makes the run. Franco got in the way of the pass, and it's played back to Pizer. Pizer's played all over the world: Germany, Switzerland, France, Portugal. But last season a champion in the NASL with Tyler Gibson and the San Francisco Deltas.
This is really here where FC Cincinnati have to improve. Forrest Lasso, Paddy Barrett, players that can play the ball long, but they've got to try to break this line and establish possession. I think Nazmi, I think Corbin Bones got to get open, side on, kind of change their position to receive it so they can get on their back foot, Tommy, then go forward. That's then where FC Cincinnati looks threatening and dangerous.
Hard over to Al-Badawi, deflected off his foot and won back by Menjivar.
He's one of the players that I just talked about, but he's in a deeper position. He's got to be higher up, play in between the lines if he can.
Came off the California native Menjivar, and it'll be a throw-in for Justin Hoyt on the far touchline. Not halfway between the 18 and the midfield circle. 42nd minute, scoreless at Nippert Stadium. On the foot of Danny Koenig. Bone gets it on to Nazmi.
That's the position that you want
to switch it over to the left. Ledesma has some room to work. Manu just outside of the 18. Tries to send it back, bouncing in front. Just missed Russell Cicerone. Comes off of Penn. It'll be a corner kick. But boy, Cicerone was almost gifted a goal.
Again, it just starts by the center mid, being able to receive it in the half space. Cicerone turns. Ledesma plays this ball in.
Russ was right there.
I think it's Venter that ends up hitting out for the corner kick, but a little bit better.
Ledesma looking for the outswinger as we'll roll on to the 43rd minute. And the orange and blue grab the lead before heading into the dressing room. Ledesma sends it, headed down by Paddy Barrett. Pizer makes the save. Great look by Barrett.
Certainly the way you want to head the ball to down. It's very hard for a goalkeeper. Pizer does well, though, to react and gets a touch, I think, off his crossbar.
Bard will chase it towards the corner now, still forward after that corner kick, unable to keep it alive. Now Bard's going to hustle to get back defensively. Hoyt's there playing preventative coverage out across midfield, and will slow down the pace.
Yeah, just get the shape back a little bit. Corbin Bones got space in behind.
Smith was looking for him, didn't quite get it there. LaHood's taken down hard, and we have our first booking of the night. Prince Buffo picks up his second yellow card of the season. Taking out Mike LaHood.
You can see just catches him, comes up with his studs. Kite the outside of Michael Hood's knee. Just a few minutes left in this half, Tommy. Another chance. We saw the opening set piece, if you remember, Ledesma. We talked about the sun playing into front of Pizer. I think now it's another chance. Can he find maybe Forrest Lasso at the back post?
Ledesma sends it into the 18. Lahoud is going to be called for a foul. He went down to the pitch. Lahoud upset with the call, and FC Cincinnati didn't have a chance to get a shot off. Pizer will step to the top of the 18 and take the free kick to put it back into play. And everybody was making their way out to midfield. Pizer inched it forward. That's your veteran there, about 10 yards, and now it's sent back right to the edge of the 18. Pizer across midfield, headed on forward, with Buffo giving chase. Smith into the midfield. Al-Badawi. He was trying to feed it to Ledesma. Touch was heavy. Throw in for Penn right at the edge of their attacking third. Franco to Buffo. Ledesma into the midfield. One right back by Tribbett. Hoyt will gain control for FC Cincinnati.
I guess Cincinnati just need to try to see this half out, really, Tommy.
Well, here's a chance. Into the box. Metzger went down, got back up, able to keep control of it. Chance here for Penn before heading into the dressing room, and the shot goes right into the chest.
I think they'll be very happy just to hear that whistle go. Give FC Cincinnati a chance to kind of regroup.
Justin Hoyt went down hard after the shot.
And it just got caught with a follow-through, I think, from the shot.
And from Osei. Isaac Osei, the midfielder from Ghana, took the shot that Spencer Ritchie caught. Ritchie taking his time right now, and we'll push everybody out into the midfield. Will there be one more chance for the orange and blue to get a shot off? Ritchie out across midfield. Headers won by Venter. Bone touches it on to Al-Badawi, skips past him. Mark Alton will sound the whistle. And 45 minutes of soccer in the books here at Nippert Stadium. 45 more still to come. And we are scoreless at the half. Both sides will head into the dressing room. Lindsey Patterson is set with head coach Alan Koch. Let's go down to the pitch.
Coach, it felt like your guys couldn't get into a rhythm most of the first half, but we were starting to see a few opportunities late. What do you tell them in the dressing room?
We've got to go out and break lines, so we're playing a little bit too in a comfort zone, playing in our own half. We have to take risks. Obviously, you have to take risks at the right places and at the right times, and I think we're playing a little bit too safe in possession. We need to see more movement. That gives the players more options, and then obviously progress down the field. We want to play good soccer. We want to build up from the back, but we want to go play in the final third and go create opportunities and go score some goals.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. An uneventful first half comes to an end here in the Queen City. We'll step aside, take a break. When we return, a chat with the OGs, the three originals, Corbin Bone, Jimmy McLaughlin, and Kenny Walker. Part one of that feature is next. Your halftime score, FC Cincinnati 0, Penn FC 0. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nippert Stadium, where we are at the half between FC Cincinnati and Penn FC. Of course, today's the 3-year anniversary for the orange and blue, and 3 players have been with the team since day one. Corbin Bone, Kenny Walker, and Jimmy McLaughlin have combined for 236 appearances, and all 3 have become fan favorites. Today, part 1 of a conversation with the OGs.
All right, so you guys just want us to talk about the last 3 years? Who would have thought these last 3 years would have gone like this? I mean, it's just been definitely way exceeded my expectations. I'm sure both of yours, but I mean, I remember pretty vividly, like in the off season before I signed here. You guys were 3 of the first names that were signed to this team, and I think instantly that kind of gave it credibility and in a sense that this club was going to do things differently than any USL team before.
Ready for play, and professional soccer has landed in the city of Cincinnati.
I got that phone call and it sounded like something I wanted to be a part of, and I'm definitely happy I said yes. Seeing the guys signed and then hearing about other guys that are signed, like you said, that you could tell that the team was making moves and it was going to be a special team to be a part of. I just wanted to come back, have fun, and play soccer, and then I heard the signings coming around, and Austin was like, yeah, it's going to be a fun time if you come. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, let's see how it is for a year. If not, then back out.
I think you look back at the first year, and we did a lot of things kind of off the field to build the brand a bit. I mean, it was still so new, and
right.
I think it was exciting because it got a little bit of buzz maybe from that first game, and people started talking about it. But I mean, I remember we were doing appearances, and people would have no idea who or what FC Cincinnati was. Like, yeah. It was just, I don't know, us like at a random soccer tournament, like talking to random kids about it.
I remember the night before we played, this is like a small, but I remember the night before, Ugo scored in the first home game, the super kick.
Yeah. The foot of Corbin Bone. Bone over to Okoli. Looking to scissor kick it, and there it is. The first ever goal at Nippert Stadium.
We're giving him a shout out now.
Just to give Cincinnati, the night before he was at Soto and he had 6 donuts. There was moments in that first year where you could kind of see glimpses. The Crystal Palace game was definitely one where, that was probably the biggest crowd that I had kind of played in front of, like on the field for, and that kind of thing. And to see that in Cincinnati for our club and the first year in existence was it was insane.
For me, it was just all the home games combined. The first game, and then it never stopped after that. It felt like it wasn't like we were trying to go somewhere. It was just the city, players, everybody was enjoying soccer for what it was. That's still today my favorite moment, is seeing that, and then eventually seeing the jerseys walking around the city. The first time I saw somebody wearing our jersey, I had to double take driving the car, you got a shirt on.
It's cool.
It's fun being a part of that, and I think doing that with you guys and the guys of past and the guys now, it's something special that whatever happens in the future, you can't take that away from what we did.
As we continue our coverage at Nippert Stadium, time to take a look around the USL for all of the latest highlights.
Save! Owain Von Williams kept that out.
Second time, and it's blocked.
Wow, what a save from Wazinski there.
And another save for Lopez. Estrada, save! Fennelson!
Nachimpong, left-footed ball, saved!
Starikov, saved! Grant Jinsing. Sparked the counterattack the other way. Christian Duke couldn't get there. Great move. T2 on the move. It's a 2-on-1. Still with it. T2 all the way, oh my goodness!
To free up Sam Hamilton, and now speaking of freeing up, here's Shane Malcolm. Malcolm with the left foot scores!
What a tremendous goal from Shane Malcolm, absolutely beautiful.
Jeff looking to work some space, but Jeff's gonna give it a go! Beyond the Jeff, his 4th goal of the season, and it's an absolute beauty. Another chance, and San Antonio FC delivers! Ledesma will send it across. Adi on the header, and Pickens makes the save. And again, it's a teasing ball towards the back post, and Ferrigno somehow, some way, tips it over the bar.
Troyer! Oh, a spectacular save by McGuire.
Mohamed, no.
Oh!
Danny Lynn, great save.
5 players edge of the Tampa Bay penalty area, and oh, what a goal! And it's Nana Adekora. Pushing upfield, over the top by Venegas, and it's in for Indy. McInerney on the doorstep.
Well played into the box for Asante, knocks it down, and it's in the net.
Burt crosses this one, far side for Uso, into the back of the net!
Nice little touch.
To Francois, drives
There it is!
It's onside of the house.
Not down, Illich stabs it back, Davis!
Certainly plenty of highlights over the last week as we are at the half here at Nippert Stadium. Not many highlights in the first 45 minutes. We'll get to those here in a few minutes. Right now, the USL scoreboard. One match is a final. Pittsburgh, 3 big points. On the road at Bethlehem wins 2-1. And later tonight, TFC 2 will host Richmond. The standings as they are now in the USL, FC Cincinnati remains atop with 45 points, but watch out. Pittsburgh, with that win, moves up 43 points. And Charleston, who will be here on Saturday, 43 points as well. The upcoming schedule for the Orange and Blue, one more at home to round out the homestand. That'll be Saturday against Charleston at 7:30 here at Nippert Stadium. Then, wait a second, they have to go on the road at Atlanta United 2, at Tampa Bay, home on the 1st for Pittsburgh, and then at Louisville City on September 8th. We'll step aside, take a break, and have the highlights, stats, and second half for you when we return. Scoreless with 45 minutes in the books. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. We wrap up halftime here at Nippert Stadium with FC Cincinnati and Penn FC scoreless in the first of 2 meetings this season. Tom Glitter, back with my broadcast partner, Kevin McCloskey, a special Sunday night edition of Orange and Blue Soccer. And tonight's first half highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC Cincinnati scores twice, you save the next day 50% on a pizza. No goals in the first half, and early, Nasmi Al-Badawi got popped.
Yeah, this is a tough blow, really. You see it holding his tooth there. We end up finding that out from Lindsay. But tough knock. There was 2 times, I think, from that he had to come out of the game too. Tommy to receive treatment, which made a little bit of a difference, but seems like he's okay. Back on the field, back motivated.
The chances for the orange and blue came on the corner kicks.
This is the corner kick. FC Cincinnati still haven't registered a shot on goal, though. It's been the difference. They've had some set pieces. This is the chance here. Ledesma plays in. Goalkeeper almost gives a chance to Russell Cicerone, but out for a corner kick. This is the Paddy Barrett chance off the crossbar. And Penn FC survive it.
Pizer stepped up when needed defensively for Penn FC. And that means this match is currently 0-0. Lindsey Patterson was in the dressing room with the orange and blue for the latest. Let's go down to the pitch.
Yeah, guys, I just left the dressing room, and Alan Koch told his guys, you need to be aggressive in the second 45. Play back a little bit. You don't have to win the first or second ball. Build up play, slide them over, and go to the other side as quickly as you can. At times, we switch to the point of attack. You have to have bodies around to support each other. More importantly, have fun. We play at our best when we're enjoying it.
Thank you, Lindsey. Kevin, you heard Alan Koch talk about it in his interview with Lindsey going into the dressing room. He wanted his guys to be more aggressive. Where do you feel like they can be successful in that manner?
I touched on it just 5 minutes before the half. I think the 2 attacking centre midfield players, Corbin Bone, Nazmi Al-Badawi, I think they've got to get into higher positions and stay patient. Alan talked about it. Be a little bit more aggressive. It allows Michael Lahu to drop deep. It allows Paddy Barrett, Forrest Lasso then to start breaking lines and be able to receive the ball really on the half turn on the back foot and then go forward. Attacking, sir, they've got to find more bodies, more targets, and really be the difference and control this game.
Saw Paddy Barrett there wearing the captain's armband. Kenny Walker is available in the 18 but didn't start tonight. Deco Kanon, if you're just joining us, is out, not involved with a knee injury. So Alan Koch awards Paddy with the captain's armband for this match. 7 shots so far for Penn FC, 3 for Cincinnati in the first half. We are underway, second half. Penn FC will switch and attack right to left, retreating a bit right now in their blue tops with white stripes up and down the sides of the jerseys and the shorts. Barrett sliding in midfield for the tackle, then he is run over from behind by Ose. The foul will be called. And a free kick coming for the orange and blue. We had just 1 booking in the first half. That was late in the 44th minute against Buffo when he got called for a yellow card in the midfield.
Just a good initial tackle, gets up as well. Just he's got body position on really. Ramirez comes in and ends up being a free kick. Great control by Ledesma, just under a lot of pressure there too.
We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. Manuel Ledesma has gone 3 matches without scoring. If he was held off the scorebook again tonight, that would be 4 straight. That is his longest stretch without a goal since the beginning of the season, when he went the first 5 matches before he found that rhythm and never looked back.
I think the key too, I talked about this in the first half, Tommy, really he's played very isolated out on that left-hand side. I think a guy like Ledesma, for more end product, especially with goals, he's got to find himself in central positions.
Free kick will come for Penn towards the near touchline right at midfield. Tribbett waiting for everybody to push forward as Penn will attack the goal towards the Bailey in the second half. Lasso heads it down. Visitors able to keep it alive. Menjivar to the left. Ramirez sent across the middle, and a leaping Spencer Ritchie is there to catch it. Takes out his own teammate Forrest Lasso in the process.
Just in traffic, like you said, ends up jumping over Forrest Lasso. Does well to hold on to it. Good collection by Spencer Ritchie.
Blake Smith has rolled over as he was trying to push the ball forward left to right for FC Cincinnati. Foul will be called and another free kick for the home lads, and the ball's poked away from Forrest Lasso, who's going to take it. We saw Lasso go down briefly and clearly okay after Spencer Ritchie came over his back. Sem DeVitt, the third center back in the 18 tonight with Kanon out. LaHood will send it over to the left, and Smith. Lasso back to Ritchie. Now to Bart. Bart will charge over to the right side. Looking it forward in the direction of Hoyt. Was won back by Penn, but then Hoyt will push it towards the end line where Cicerone gives chase. And it ends up being a goal kick. There they took out official team photographer Brett Hansbauer there down along the end line.
Good reactions.
Were you concerned about him, or were you impressed by his reaction time?
Good shot right there.
There he is, big smile. And right back to work. That's
I tell you what, he doesn't take any time off.
No. Weiser, who's performed well, will send the goal kick out across midfield. Lasso heads it in the direction of Cicerone. Knocked away from him. Jake Bond goes down, grabbing his left knee. Out across the middle. Penn FC trying to set up. Shot will go wide as Spencer Ritchie dove to his right. Good look there. And it came off the foot of Buffon.
Gasai hits this. First time shot as well.
Offside.
Another dangerous moment for FC Cincinnati. Spencer Ritchie reacts well. I thought far post covered.
I'll tell you this much. I think we're going to see a change early in the half for Alan Koch. Kenny Walker warming up by himself in earnest with Austin Berry over there keeping an eye on him. Alan Koch just had a long conversation with him.
The natural change, and you asked me the question, where the FC Cincinnati really have to change? I think it's in the middle three. They've got to find, maybe dropping back into kind of two screens instead of that one pivot, who's Michael LaHood right now. But they've got to find a way how to break Penn FC's pressure. Got to build from that back third into the middle third. I want to try to find dangerous players. Corbin Bone, Nazmi Al-Badawi. You want to give them service going forward.
Spencer Ritchie's ball out across midfield. Glances off the head of Cicerone. A throw in for Penn. Bond will manage it. Al-Badawi provides pressure and takes it away. Nazmi with Bond trailing. Steps over him, then sent into the 18. Onto the foot of Heiser. Lasso heads it down. Barrett can't keep it in. Ramirez will race over and quickly throw it back into play. I'll tell you what, Penn FC doesn't waste any time keeping this ball moving.
I think, again, that we've got to be very pleased with the performances so far. A lot of good individual performances as well. I think they've kept rhythm high. Their tempo's been very high. They've made it very difficult for FC Cincinnati, which, again, FC Cincinnati playing at home. For a team like Penn FC coming to Nippert Stadium, it's really like a cup final for them. They're going to be up for it. They're not used to this crowd of 25,000 plus. That's something that FC Cincinnati just have to deal with week in, week out when they play at home.
Hoyt controls across the middle. Leaves it for Bone. And over to Lasso. 52nd minute. We remain scoreless here in the Queen City. LaHood to the far side. Ledesma. Now Bone into the middle to Koenig. Over to Al-Badawi. Decent build up here for the orange and blue. Hoyt sneaks away from Metzger, then back to Barrett. Bone up the middle of Desma. Gives it right back. Now Corbin onto the right side. Cicerone onto the attacking third. Cicerone gets around Bond, who falls down. Now into the 18. Rust trying to give it into the middle to Koenig. His ball deflected away. Throwing inside of the final third for the orange and blue.
Good moment in the second half. Russell Cicerone just cutting inside. Jake Bond ends up falling over. Another good chance for FC Cincinnati to try to feed into Danny Koenig. You see here the little cut, quick cut, turn inside. Jake Bond ends up falling over.
FC Cincinnati, in the meantime, played it all the way out into the midfield, and then Spencer Ritchie had to come forward to get it from Barrett. Potty sending it to Cicerone. Hoyt.
Just see the pressure from Penn FC, though. Really difficult Justin Hoyt does well to find space, comes inside, starts another attack now until Forrest Lass with this long ball over, trying to find Danny Koenig.
It was deflected again, nearly in the direction of Cicerone. A bounce away from Russ as it comes to Pizer. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Sharefax. Penn's offside. Kenny Walker's been called into the dugout, and we'll see the first sub for Alan Koch here shortly. We'll see what change he makes. Bone, meanwhile, for Al-Badawi. Over to Forrest Lasso. Smith making that overlapping run, finally being involved as a fullback. Cross doesn't get there. Here comes Ledesma to provide support. Comes off of Penn FC. It'll be a throw-in for the orange and blue deep inside of their attacking third. Smith will give it in to Al-Badawi and get it right back. Blake Smith, 4 assists on the campaign. Comes back to Lasso, who immediately has pressure from Kosana. And plays it back to Ritchie. Al-Badawi across the midfield with 2 on, gets away from both.
Does well, but again, just like I said, you want him higher up the field if possible. Corbin Bone did really well just to get out of that.
Then Bone trying to center it to Koenig. Well defended there. And cleared out into the midfield. Smith can't continue the run forward. And Al-Badawi wins it back.
I'll try to go wide with this, open the game up a little bit, find more space then if you go back inside to penetrate in the central areas. It's good run by Justin Hoyt to open up that space for Russell Cicerone.
Cicerone's cross comes off the boot of Bond. Penn able to keep it in towards the corner, and then it'll be a throw-in for FC Cincinnati. Well, I told you Kenny Walker went into the dugout, got some instructions, then headed back out, so he continues to warm up. Appears that sub won't be quite as immediate. You see the ball handed off to Justin Hoyt by first-year head coach Raul Voss. I apologize to Penn FC for misidentifying him as Bill Becker, the longtime head coach. Manu Ledesma hits the woodwork, but it goes to Cicerone, takes a shot. Pizer makes the save. Oh my, Manu just missed.
And that again is why Manu needs to be in central positions, right? What a strike that is. Comes inside, hits it. Sweet as a nut really with his left foot off the post. Russell Cicerone has a ton of space and time on that too. I think Pfizer does well just to come out and make himself really big on the front post to make that save.
Voss, meanwhile, has sent his first sub out to midfield. It'll be Pedro Galvo, the native of Connecticut, making his 14th appearance on the season. And now Kenny Walker getting some more instructions from Yohan Dame, so I'd imagine we will see him before we reach the hour mark. So such begins the chess match of the final 30 minutes or so.
Maybe you want to use that ball, guys. Let's go. Substitution, let's go.
And Galvo coming on, Portuguese product. That went on and played at FC Edmonton, making 34 appearances. Imagine he's going to come into midfield for Penn FC.
29-year-old will get final instructions from Coach Voss.
Interesting to see if Penn maybe changed their shape as well with this, Tommy. So far, though, they've had a decent amount of momentum. That last opportunity for FC Cincinnati, definitely the most clear-cut chance they've had.
Marco Franco will come off, who I think has had some good looks tonight. And the sub for FC Cincinnati will be Nazmi Al-Badawi coming off, and Kenny Walker coming on to make his 19th appearance of the season.
Number 6, Kenny Walker.
I think you'll see Kenny Walker coming into midfield, probably anchor alongside Michael Lahoud. Try to open up this space here now, kind of side by side, and try to find pockets to play forward. He might play a little bit higher, but he's definitely a player that also can unlock defenses playing in behind. Have unbelievable technical ability.
For Walker, it's his 73rd appearance for FC Cincinnati here tonight on the 3rd anniversary of the club, the 25,000 or so. We haven't seen the official number yet, but the large crowd looking for some highlights from some of their favorites. Hoping to see the orange and blue take the lead here in the second half against Penn FC. Spencer Ritchie will run over to play the ball outside of the 18 and send it out across midfield. Walker giving chase on Venter, who plays it to the far touchline. Venter spent the last 2 years with Ottawa before joining Penn this season. Trivet, the captain. Up the middle, now played off to the foot of Menjivar. Spencer Ritchie catches the long ball that was in the direction of Isaac Osei. Walker is knocked over, and that's an easy call for Mark Allerton. There's a bit of argument after the fact by Richard Menjivar.
I think Menjivar was too happy with the call.
Menjivar with a lot of international experience, 41.
Yeah.
Senior caps with El Salvador. There was discussion today about who for FC Cincinnati has the most national team caps. Do you know the answer? Off the top of your head? He's not dressed today, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
Deco Kanan, 27 with Israel. Russell Cicerone finds Corbin Bone inside of the 18. 2 defenders on. Bone holding on to it, trying to do something with it. Finally finds Blake Smith. Back to Bone. Bone couldn't find the support. Now to Kenny Walker. Over to Hoyt. Justin on to the left, Cicerone. Cicerone into the 18. Crosses it, played away by Venter. And a corner kick opportunity coming for the orange and blue.
Really like that ball in by Russell Cicerone as well. Drives it across the face of the net to force the corner kick. Very hard ball to deal with by the Penn FC defense.
Manuel Ledesma will give the ball a kiss, as he traditionally does before set pieces. Corner kicks brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Ledesma from the near side to the left of Pizer, the 38-year-old goalkeeper. FC Cincinnati showing that cluster formation inside of the 6. Ledesma likely looking for the in-swinger. Strikes it with his left foot. Forrest Lasso got his head on it and just missed on the near post.
Good delivery as well. You talked about the players being packed inside of the 6. Very difficult for Pizer, the goalkeeper, just to deal with that. Forrest Lasso wasn't that far away as well. We'll see it again. Good movement by Michael, who just opened up that seam as well. You see Forrest Lasso just go up. In a great position too. He knows how close that was.
Kenny Walker will touch it out near touchline. Throw-in coming for Penn FC. As we are just past the 1 hour mark, each manager has made 1 substitution, so they have 2 remaining apiece. Lahoud over to Smith. Smith will turn it back to Ritchie. And as I was mentioning the substitutions, 2 remaining each way. Tommy Heineman just went into the dugout for Penn FC. And FC Cincinnati fans know that name because he was on the roster at the beginning of the 2018 season. However, he failed his physical, was released. He claimed he should not have been released and will continue to battle that claim against the club. And you'd have to imagine if he comes in to this match, it'll be with a chip on his shoulder.
He's going to be fired up for this game. He's the player that wants to try to make his mark and improve really to the public. But it can be a difference.
Bone is tripped up just across midfield in front of Penn's bench. The foul is called, and Manuel Ledesma trying to quickly get it back into play, but Ramirez will slow it down with an argument on the foul.
I think the big thing for SC Cincinnati with Heineman coming on too. You can't get caught up in the emotion of it. You got to continue to kind of play on. I would imagine you're going to hear some jeers and boos from the crowd as well.
Well, Heineman had come inside of the dugout, now has been sent back out. So that's substitution not immediate. In the meantime, Ledesma got it inside of the 18 to Paddy Barrett, and he wasn't able to put it on frame.
I've seen Paddy Barrett score one of those spectacular headers about a month and a half ago. Great run by him. Good delivery again by Ledesma. Just unlucky.
You know, that goal was the goal of the month for July, and he credited his 24 sisters for getting online, and he doesn't have 24 sisters. I think he has 6, but he's one of 11. I'm sure they are all listening back in Ireland tonight. Bone knocks it forward to Koenig. Danny come out wide to Cicerone. Drops it back for Walker. Walker looking to get it across the middle, deflected away as it was in the direction of Bone. Osei quickly sends it to Kosana. Lasso nearly misplays it, then comes back to make the defensive play. It actually went to Osei's foot and deflected right to Richie. FC Cincinnati gets lucky there.
Great recovery by Lasso. Actually gets beat initially, but you talk about speed and recovery. Gets up, sprints back in and denies Kosana, which it could have been, again, a one-on-one chance with Spencer Richie.
Bard commits the foul in the midfield, knocking over Osei. Put 2 hands in his back, and again, Penn quickly puts it back into play.
FC Cincinnati get lucky again just on that quick restart.
Flag went up far side as Penn, like you said,
gets caught offside.
Tried to get going quickly. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health. Bard will look it up the right side. Was trying to get it to Koenig. There was some contact. It's been a physical match tonight.
This is better here, Ledesma. I like him taking up these positions. Chance now to bring that fullback Blake Smith in.
He finds Smith. Blake looked it to Koenig, intercepted by Penn. Smith into the midfield. Lassos. The pace slows down for the moment. 66th minute. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson on the 3rd anniversary for the orange and blue in a scoreless match here in Nipper. Blake Smith keeps it alive on the touchline. Ledesma will let a rocket fly, and it goes high onto the horseshoe end of the stadium.
That's good again, just to see Ledesma starting to try. We've seen some wonder strikes from him, but starting to try some outside shots. Unable to hit the target on that.
Well, you can start to hear a few of the boo birds rain down. Tommy Heineman has made his way to midfield now with his kit top on and will check in to this match. Heineman was also part of that San Francisco Deltas team that was victorious last year, winning the NASL championship. Barrett forward in the direction of Ledesma. Tough collision there just across midfield. Ledesma is going to be called for the foul, and Manny right here, this is where he just needs to compose himself and not pick up a yellow card. His next yellow results in a 1-match suspension.
Discipline, I talked about in the key. Discipline has to kick in here, Tommy, especially now at this stage of the game, approaching 67 minutes. Game stand 0-0. FC Cincinnati have to be smart. Got to be professional and focused. Do what they're best at, really, and trying to create attacks.
Osei comes off. Heineman on, second substitution for Penn FC. It'll be the 11th appearance of the season for Heineman. It's the first time this season he's come off the bench. Has played 770 minutes and has 3 goals. Immediately gets a touch off the header, but it falls to Hoyt. Foul in the midfield. Al-Badawi will, or excuse me, Koenig. Al-Badawi's out. Koenig will be called for the foul. Alan Koch is going to counter with his second substitution. Jimmy McLaughlin coming on.
I just want to talk about what Heineman brings to Penn FC, though. It changes the dynamic a little bit for Penn FC. Now they've got a big target.
6'4".
And expect Penn FC to try to play a little bit more direct, especially from set pieces, which we're going to see here in a second. Chance now for Jimmy McLaughlin to come on.
Number 20 McLaughlin replaces number 7 Russell Cicerone.
Jimmy's 20th appearance on the season. Of course, he's become a fan favorite over the last 3 years. Meantime, it's defensive mindset for the orange and blues. Minjavar will put it back into play with his right foot on the free kick. Looking to the far side, headed away by FC Cincinnati, back into the midfield where Minjavar will collect. 69th minute as we remain scoreless. 2 previous draws between these clubs, both came in Pennsylvania. Penn FC to the final third, into the 18. Shot goes just high from the right side. Potty Bart, Tommy Heineman got tied up a little bit when the shot was taken. Heineman is pleading his case. Just announced the attendance tonight, 24,249. So another great crowd here in Nippert. Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season to stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. McLaughlin with the header in the midfield. Jimmy, a player too who has excelled against opponents from Pennsylvania during his time in orange and blue. See if he has a little more magic. Scored a goal last year against Penn FC. It's actually the equalizer in stoppage time in the last matchup last September.
He's got about 20 minutes to make a difference again tonight.
Emmanuel Ledesma just got his final warning from Mark Allerton. Free kick will come about 13 yards across midfield. Lahoud into the midfield for Corbin Bone. Over to the right side, Jimmy McLaughlin poked away from McLaughlin. FC Cincinnati's going to try to throw it in quickly as Justin Hoyt races forward. Throw-in comes to the foot of Koenig. Koenig tried to come back out wide and rolled out along the touchline right in front of Penn's bench. Hoyt unable to play it up the near touch as Kosana got in the way.
Hold it!
The throw-in is deflected away by Galvo. And now McLaughlin will chase it up the right touchline. Knocked out by Penn. Hoyt will set to throw it in. Looking for Danny Koenig. Finds his big target. Koenig right back out to McLaughlin.
Just sense how eager FC Cincinnati really just to try to change this game.
Ledesma giving chase, screened away by Tribbett.
A lot of energy out there, just being able to put it together though. Try to create the difference in this game. That's just one good open look or opportunity. Gotta see Penn FC just stay in the game though, Tommy. Almost menacing really the way they've approached it, but credit to them, their game plan so far has worked.
Ball comes off the head of Bart. Thought he was fouled. Won't be called. Throw in for Penn FC. Both coaches have one more sub to work with. Both Fatai Lashe, Fernando and Adi are available for Alan Koch. If he's looking for an offensive sub, it'll certainly be Adi. 54 regular season goals in Major League Soccer with Portland.
It's got to be an offensive change if he makes a change at all. You're at home, obviously expectations, try to get 3 points.
FC Cincinnati currently riding that 11-match unbeaten streak. Ball into the middle, headed away by Bart, comes out to Ramirez. Kosana sent it, but Lahoud got in the way. McLaughlin will go out wide to Blake Smith. Smith misplays it over the head of Walker. Blake will touch it out far side. Throw in for Penn with 17 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And now Nkacha, they just went out to get Fernando Adi. So there's your offensive sub. If that is what goes down, it'll be the second appearance in orange and blue for Adi.
If you got that player sitting on the bench, Tommy, in your back pocket, you gotta use it.
Buffo trying to cross it. Kenny Walker, who's looked good since coming off the bench, deflects it. Corbin Bone will play it forward. FC Cincinnati going to look for numbers.
It's a great ball.
Ledesma over to Danny Koenig. He's on into the 18, deflected away. McLaughlin can't get there.
I'm just going to talk about, just as it relates to Adi, but in Danny Koenig's defense, and again, I'm thinking he's probably going to come off for Adi. Danny Koenig hasn't had a ton of service either. This is not where the game's really been challenged for FC Cincinnati. For me, it's been the defensive and midfield third in their build-up play. That's been the difference in the game today. It's not really been Danny Koenig's fault. He's played back to goal. He's played as a target and not really had a ton of success or reward from it.
Tosana played it forward in the direction of Heinemann, but his touch was heavy. LaHood on to McLaughlin. Bone will knock it wide for Hoyt. Heads it down to McLaughlin.
Jimmy's looked really sharp as he's come on tonight. We talked about him making a difference the last time against this team.
Nearly found Koenig. Well defended again by Penn FC.
He's coming on with a point to prove, though.
Remember, he picked up that knock after starting last week against Nashville. Ledesma, edge of the 18. Ledesma dancing with two defenders on, trying to get it to his left foot, had to hold up. Gives it off for Bone. Just outside of the 18. Bone tried to chip it forward for Koenig, couldn't connect.
FC Cincinnati have a lot of numbers in the attack here. Just be patient, don't lose the ball. Gotta find the right time, the right space.
Lasso to Walker, over to Barrett. Paddy Barrett miscommunicated with Jimmy McLaughlin and sent it up the right side. Had the right idea, McLaughlin didn't make the run.
It's been better though, just that last 2 or 3 minute period. FC Cincinnati, a lot of energy. We talked about Jimmy McLaughlin coming on, being a difference.
Well, here comes some more energy for the orange and blue. It'll be the third and final sub for Alan Koch, and it'll come in the form of Fernando Adi. Got a huge ovation in his debut last week against Nashville. He'll have about 15 minutes to make a difference.
Almost had that difference. The difference, that header that was saved by Pickens. Big time save from him, but Adi again hopefully can come on and maybe be the difference in this game.
Heinemann heads it on. Lasso wins it back. Now Hoyt out into the midfield in the direction of Koenig. He might have one more run on him if Adi's coming on for him. Blake Smith will give chase to the far side. A quick bump with Buffo. Smith gets tangled up with Buffo, and he'll be called for the foul. And now Alan Koch can send his third and final sub in. Fernando Adi will come on for Danny Koenig.
Coming on to another massive roar. We saw it the same game against Nashville, same time at least. The fans at Nibbert are certainly very excited to see this player and see what he can do. There's been a lot of hype, a lot of talk about it. Not really seen that many minutes from him. Tommy obviously coming on late in that game against Nashville.
Bard will send it in the direction of Hoyt. Hoyt will drop it off for Adi. Adi just outside of the 18, escapes two defenders. Over to his left to Ledesma. Ledesma fires a shot. Bond turns it away. Headed by Buffo to the far touchline. That's where FC Cincinnati will throw it in. And now the third and final sub for Raul Voss. Miguel Jaime, 5'9" midfielder from Colorado. 22 years of age. Will come on, and Dan Metzger checks out. So all the chess pieces have been played. We're in the 78th minute, scoreless on the third anniversary of FC Cincinnati. Throw-in comes off to Adi. Adi trying to play it into the middle, screaming for a handball, won't get it. Barrett sends it back. Nobody home for the orange and blue. Now Heineman giving chase. Barrett has a step on him easily.
I don't think Heineman's going to catch him on that.
No.
Good recovery speed by Paddy Barrett. Comes up back. Tries to switch the point of attack now to Forrest Lasso. We talked about all the chess pieces of, or chess plays have been made at least. Now FC Cincinnati with this improved build-up, and it has been improved possession these last 5-10 minutes. Got to make it count.
McLaughlin with a great ball to Bone. He has a little bit of space to work. Looked forward, then dropped it off for Walker. Back to McLaughlin. Jimmy to Manu. Manu is taken out, trying to advance the ball by Ken Tribbett. That was your key matchup, and Ken Tribbett earned his way into the book with the tackle.
It resulted in a really dangerous opportunity now for FC Cincinnati. They're hoping Ledesma obviously is a player that'll be on set pieces. Hopefully he's not hurt from that tackle. We want him on this ball, on this set piece. Good ball in. Just a cheeky little nutmeg. Gets caught for sure.
Tribbett taking out the leg of Ledesma, who is up and appears to be okay. Of course, Adi gives you another big target. Adi calling the center backs forward. Lasso, Barrett. It'll be Lasso who comes up on the ball from Ledesma. 80th minute.
I don't think he's serving this one though, Tommy.
No.
Many times have we seen this in training.
From that exact spot.
I'd say 30-40 reps every training session. This is exactly where he shoots from.
Ledesma setting up Michael Lahoud where he would like to see him on the wall.
I think the biggest thing now is the reaction of Adi, Forrest Lasso.
Man on Ledesma with his left foot. Bounding ball finds the net. Late match magic from Manu Ledesma. His 10th goal of the season.
We've seen it so many times. It does take a deflection, which, again, Pizer, I think, has been fantastic in goal. But the deflection, I think, just beats Pizer. There's not much he can do about it. Talk about being a difference maker. That's what that is. Player that steps up, everything's on the line. It's a big, big deflection, actually.
Caught Kosana and beats Pizer to give FC Cincinnati a late and huge advantage here at Nippert Stadium.
Very important goal. Very important 3 points, honestly. When you talk about the league standings at halftime as well, Pittsburgh breathing down the neck of FC Cincinnati. This is the difference now to give FC Cincinnati that positive result in these vital points.
You think Forrest Lasso went over to Adi? I told you he wasn't serving it. Now the key is the next 10 minutes. Locking down defensively with the advantage at home.
I actually think I think this suits FC Cincinnati a little bit more. I think Penn FC are going to be very aggressive, which is going to open up more space for players like Adi, Ledesma, Corbin Bone. I wouldn't be surprised if FC Cincinnati going to get a second here.
Well, Ledesma will send it up the left side. Adi off his chest. Poked away from Fernando Adi by Venter.
This goal is exactly what FC Cincinnati needed in the game, though.
Bond has it come off his head. It'll be a throw-in for the orange and blue from the far touchline. 82nd minute, 1-0 now. Thanks to Manu Ledesma's 10th goal on the season. Throw in for Lahoud. He'll poke it forward, trying to get it to Adi, who's called for the foul. FC Cincinnati gets a result tonight. They match their club record of a 12-game unbeaten streak. It happened during 2016. They went 7-0-5 over that 12-match stretch 2 years ago. A win against Penn FC would make them 8-0-4 and eclipse that mark. That's where we stand right now. Cleared away by Forrest Lasso to the far touchline. Penn will throw it in right at the edge of their attacking third, and they'll put it out into the midfield, try to set up from there.
Good. Obviously a very fitting part to another historic day. Obviously celebration of the 3rd birthday as well. If they can eclipse that, it'll be a timely event again, and another chapter that we talked about.
Adi will get it in the midfield. Gets around a defender. Here comes Fernando. Gets knocked off his feet by Kosana. He had McLaughlin and Ledesma up each side, and Kosana commits the yellow card infraction.
He did have McLaughlin as the option to play through, but Adi, you can see him as well. He wanted that. He wanted to try to get in stride, use his strength, show this crowd what he has, Tommy. He's a big, powerful guy, just uses his body, ends up getting fouled. But
smart foul by Kosana, really.
Adi does well, though. He cuts across. He sees where Kosana's coming in from behind. And again, another dangerous spot for Ledesma. I think this might be a service from here. Probably another 4 or 5 yards out from that last shot. This is the time where you kind of change it up.
Ledesma again, serving in the direction of Adi this time. Didn't quite get there. Bone. Now Blake Smith sending it back. Nobody was forward. And it heads out on the end line.
Well, you've got to look at the changes in the subs that Allen's made. Kenny Walker coming on, Jimmy McLaughlin, Adi. I think so far, it served its purpose. I think it's been, positive moves and really been the difference in this game. The second half, a lot more energy for FC Cincinnati, a lot more chances created.
Penn FC trying to win it back to the midfield. They do just that. Buffo drops it back. Now to the foot of Menjivar. Over to the left, Venner. In the direction of Heinemann. Lasso just steps and intercepts the pass. Desma in the midfield. Looking to the right. Here comes McLaughlin turning on the speed. Jimmy just outside of the 18. Drops it back for Walker. Out of Hoyt. 85th minute. Lasso. Over to the left, Smith. Chance of FCC. Echo from the Bailey.
FC Cincinnati look like a different team right now. Confidence starting to ooze. We talk about rhythm.
McLaughlin loses it off his foot. Kosana in the midfield. Misplays it right to Corbin Bone. Back to Lasso. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here in the Queen City. Orange and blue looking for 3 big points thanks to a late goal. Bard will chase it down as Spencer Ritchie come off his line to scoop it up, with Tommy Heinemann trailing in by about 3 steps. Ritchie will take an extra bounce and swing it over to the right to the Irish lad, Paddy Bard. Comes off of Jimmy McLaughlin, won back by Tribbett. Walker and McLaughlin trying to work on the right side, and Jimmy just held up a little bit too long. Throw in for Penn. Bond. Right foots it forward in the direction of Heinemann. Bard intercepts. Jaime. Pushes out wide to the right. Sent across the middle in the direction of Heinemann. Header falls into the middle. Shot is taken. Lasso cleared it away. I think Spencer Ritchie had a beat on it, but Lasso got it out of the 18. A good look there from Penn FC, and then Lasso will boom it across midfield again.
Scary moment again for FC Cincinnati.
The Orange and Blue have never dropped a result to this franchise, previously known as City Islanders, rebranded to Penn FC for the 2018 season. Lead the series 2-0-2. And undefeated all time at home against Penn. Winning the previous 2. Kosana trying to get inside of the 18 around Blake Smith. Does well to keep it alive. Then Blake Smith with some contact. Nearly could have been a penalty.
Very close.
Not.
Very, very close.
Walker takes it away from Ramirez. Bone forward for Adi, who has 2 blue jerseys on it. One of them, Tribbett, knocks it away. Tell you what, I think Blake Smith got away with a foul there inside of the 18.
Yeah, I think he got away with one of them.
see the replay. Walker again, a great touch just to disrupt the momentum of Penn. Bone giving chase. Corbin Bone tonight, his 78th start. It's an all-time record for this club during the USL era. When you combine appearances for USL and Open Cup, and I'll finish this thought in a moment as Ledesma goes down and Penn pushes towards the final third. Sent in the direction of Heineman. Spencer Ritchie catches it.
Great save by Spencer Ritchie. Again, Heineman, 6'4", big target. It's not going to be easy to come out and deal with. But Spencer Ritchie kept his focus and concentration very well. That's a decisive catch right there, Tommy.
Ritchie will boot it out into the midfield. We've talked about this 3-year celebration a few times tonight, and you saw the halftime piece with Corbin Bone, Kenny Walker, and Jimmy McLaughlin. Both Bone and McLaughlin, when you combine USL and Open Cup appearances, should hit 100 appearances for this club in 3 years before the season is over.
That's fantastic as well. Players you talk about too, obviously what they can do as players, but just as people as well, they've been fantastic. Stewards of the game for FC Cincinnati. They've great personalities on and off the field.
Venter forward for Menjivar. With McLaughlin in his face, Kenny Walker comes in to knock it away. Hoyt to Lahoud. Now to McLaughlin. Tried to get it to Walker and misplayed it. Venter wins it back. Corbin Bone has other ideas. Gets it forward for Adi. Here we go. Fernando Adi into the 18. Fernando Adi will drop it into the middle, and Corbin Bone misses the frame.
I want to see Adi more and more turn and go at defenders. Starting to show his class here just on this cutback. You see this full stride. Intentional, big first touch as well. Just to draw the defender. Sizes up, takes a touch. The setback wasn't very clean. That's the only difference again why Corbin Bone maybe couldn't play it on target, but the decision to play it back again, class. You're starting to see the value of this player.
4 minutes of stoppage time tacked on. Forrest Lasso with a big-time tackle to win it back. McLaughlin's going to make the run and get to it to keep it alive in midfield.
Play Adi in again.
And he's going to find him. McLaughlin forward for Adi. Adi into the 18, trying to use that muscle, battling with Ramirez, and will end up being called for a foul.
I just love seeing the style of play, really. He almost beats the defender in, really, to try to make the step and try to win the ball. And then his next step really is getting body position on the defender. Smart player.
We are on to stoppage time at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. Ball sent into the box off the head of Kosana. Able to keep it alive. Lahoud trying to clear it away. Just misses Tommy Heineman and goes out on the end line. And they're going to say it actually touched FC Cincinnati. I thought that maybe Heineman, as he put his boot up, caught it. Apparently did not. And a dangerous corner kick coming here for Penn.
You know, we talked about Adi and obviously wanting to try to see more offensive things. The most important thing, FC Cincinnati have to close this game out.
Corner kick headed far post. Deflected into the middle. Bond doesn't get a shot off cleanly. But Desmond's going to push it.
I think Paddy Barrett, he's got to keep it in the corner here, honestly, Tommy. He's got to kill the clock off, try to kill the game.
Switch sides. Trying to send it in the direction of Justin Hoyt. It'll be headed to Pizer. But I see what you're saying. If he just pulls it towards the corner there.
Needs to continue just to go to that corner. Doesn't need to give Penn FC another chance to create an attack here.
Here's the chance. Manjivar sends it to the near touchline. Tommy Heineman's going to race over to throw it in. Penn bringing the pressure, trailing by a goal late. Galvo sends it into the 18. Lasso again beats Heineman to the ball. Fernando Adi wins it in the midfield. Now Corbin Bone and Walker will provide support.
Got to slow down, just keep it.
About halfway through stoppage time, Ledesma will make the run up the right side.
Smart. Just coming into the corner here, just drawing. And this is what I was talking about with Paddy Barrett. Given Paddy Barrett was probably 30 yards deeper.
Ledesma, 2 defenders on him, finally loses it, but the clock continued to run.
Yeah, still in a position really to try to lock them in. Penn do well to kind of break the press.
Defoe to Manjivar. Over to Heineman. Heineman sends it to the right, headed away. Falls to the foot of Walker. Barrett to Hoyt, cleared out into the midfield. Ledesma's in an offside position, so he has to watch it skip by him. It actually works out pretty well for FC Cincinnati because the clock rolls as Pizer has to run all the way to the touchline to play it. Lasso pokes it away. Smith forward, he'll find Ledesma. Ledesma can't get it to Adi on the left side. That man who giving chase just keeps this clock rolling on to the final 30 seconds of stoppage time. Lasso will clear it into the midfield. Won't quite get there in time for Adi to keep it alive. Maybe one more.
It's probably the last chance I was going to say.
Pizer. Hoyt heads it away.
Good defended by Justin Hoyt.
You know what Hoyt's going to do here. Yeah, he has Fernando Adi over to the right, or to the left. He'll give it off to Adi. Fernando Adi inside of the 18. Has Pizer chasing. Fernando Adi back to his left foot. Fernando's taken down in the box, and it is not a penalty. It won't matter as the full-time whistle sounds. FC Cincinnati 3 points, and they are dancing in the Bailey tonight. A clean sheet and a 1-0 victory for the Orange and Blue on Anniversary Sunday. I think everybody wanted that Adi goal, though, to ice the cake.
I'm actually just watching Justin Hoyt on the ground after that 60-yard run. Yeah, it definitely would have put the icing on the cake, as you said. Adi was playing for the penalty as he cut back and tried to draw that foul. Whether or not it was, irrelevant. Big 3 points, Tommy. That was the most important thing, especially after that game against Nashville. Very important to get the win tonight. FC Cincinnati do enough. And another special moment by Emmanuel Ledesma.
Tonight's moment of the match is presented by Toyota. Let's go places, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Manu Ledesma in the 80th minute makes the difference yet again.
Big deflection, obviously off the wall. Goal still counts, so Ledesma, anytime he gets into this position, it's always a threat, ends up again being the difference. We talked about it in the preview too, Tommy. We need more of those opportunities from Ledesma to keep this streak going.
12 matches unbeaten now for the Orange and Blue, and they eclipsed that mark from 2 years ago. 8-0-4 across the stretch, and their lead in first place will stretch as well. We'll step aside and take a break here at Nippert Stadium. When we return, we'll have all the highlights from this match, a clean sheet for Spencer Ritchie, and we'll hear from Alan Koch. All of that's coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey back with you in the Queen City, where the sun sets and FC Cincinnati their 14th win of 2018. A solid effort tonight, and opportunity number 23 results in a victory. Alan Koch with a long conversation with his club after this match. It wasn't perfect by any means, but they did what they had to do to get the result tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, no, I think Alan, again, just reaffirming what has to happen from the squad. A lot of healthy competition. Okay, that becomes challenging again for a coach, but 3 points, 3 very important points going on, and again, another week off to prepare for the next opponent.
Well, the next opponent will be a big one. That's Charleston Saturday night. First, let's hear about tonight. Lindsay is with Alan.
Coach, you told him in the dressing room, go have some fun out there because that's when you play your best. We saw how eager they were in the second half. You gathered everyone around. What did you say to them?
We got to go out and enjoy it. Obviously, you could feel a little bit of the tension amongst the group today, and it's only natural. You're getting closer towards the end, but you don't focus on the outcome at the end. We focus on game to game, and I thought the performance was much better in the second 45 minutes. I thought we created things more. I think we controlled the tempo of the game a little bit more, but I'm not very happy with the performance. We'll take the results, of course, and full credit to the players because it's not easy to go out, no matter who you're playing against, and get the 3 points. We did that, but we expect more from ourselves, and we're going to continue to push each other every single day, come together even more as a group, and continue to obviously go one game at a time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. We appreciate your time and certainly appreciate Alan joining Lindsay throughout the broadcast tonight. It's time for the Toyota post-match highlights. And this match started a little bit sluggish for both teams throughout the first half, and Nazmi Al-Badawi drew blood off that elbow from Walter Ramirez.
It's the first challenge, just seeing him showing the referee his tooth, I think, which, again, that's definitely going to leave a mark. Like you said, Tommy, a little bit of a scrappy first half. This is the chance here by Paddy Barrett. Unlucky. Heiser just does enough to get a fingertip to it, I think. But Desmond coming inside, starting to become a lot more menacing. This opportunity off the post. Just the second chance here from Russell Cicerone. Heiser does enough again. And Paddy Barrett, we saw that just about a month and a half ago. That goal of the month. So we're going to see a repeat of that. I thought Spencer Ritchie, you see it on the save as well. I thought he had a solid game tonight, Tommy.
Very well.
He came up big. This is the other big-time save from him as well in traffic. I thought he did really well with aerial balls. Balls coming in from crosses, and this is the difference in the game right here. We've seen it so many times, Ledesma being a difference maker. Big deflection, but still counts. 3 points in the bag.
Ledesma gets his 10th of the year, and it's the game-winning goal for the orange and blue, who go to 14-3-6. They drop Penn to 6-8-8. Lindsay Patterson's night not quite over. She's with Manu Ledesma.
Yeah, Manu, we see it in training all the time, and now the fans, they got to see it this Sunday evening. Can you walk us through that goal?
Yeah, it was a free kick. A little bit lucky in the free kick because it's a deflection, but I'm working every day. I practice every day on the free kicks, and then I'm always looking for the goal, you know. And then today it's coming. I know it's with a little bit lucky, but I'm so happy because with that goal we get the 3 points. So after a really hard work, teamwork, we get that 3 points, and then we celebrate right now.
The unbeaten streak continues for your guys. What is it about this group right now?
It's a lot of confidence through the team, a lot of confidence inside in the change room, a lot of work hard with the team, and then with the staff, and then everybody, and then we always are focused in don't get the ball, or don't lose the game, and then we always working hard. I think that's the word, hard working.
Thank you so much. Go enjoy the win.
Thank you very much.
All right, now Lindsay, you can go enjoy that cake that you showed us earlier. You heard it from Alan, Kevin. He said, you know, he'll take the result. The 3 points are great. Not really happy with the performance. They have 6 days to figure out, a bit of a short week. Charleston's coming on. They're going to have to be a lot better against the Battery on Saturday.
Let's talk about the first and most impressive thing. 12 games unbeaten.
Absolutely.
That is so impressive. First and foremost, okay?
Yep.
It doesn't happen by luck. A lot of preparation, good performances have went into that. Is it good enough tonight, the performance? No. And I think Alan said that. And I think it's one of those things, though. Even the sign of a good team, Tommy, even when you're playing badly and you grind out results, I think that's the key, and that's the difference. And we've seen it within those 12 games in that streak. That's happened. and I think it's okay for that. The big challenge now, as you said, is the preparation for Charleston. It's going to be a very busy and important week of training to try to get ready for a team that's starting to come into form.
Well, that match will be here Saturday night at 7:30. You can get tickets now at FCCincinnati.com. Manuel Ledesma with a big hug as he heads into the dressing room. Once again, your final score from Nippert, 1-0 in favor of the Orange and Blue. Our next broadcast of USL on WSTR comes your way next Saturday when the Orange and Blue host Charleston. We'll have all the action for you beginning at 7:30. For Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, our producer David Ashbrock, I'm Tom Gledder saying goodnight. And thanks for tuning in to FC Cincinnati.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.